Let me show you an example of good notes. Although the art history is totally optional, of course, but these are good notes. Everything that's kind of in there, a little bit more explanation on what it is. Sometimes I'll put a term up on the board, but I won't write the definition on the board. Nobody in this class. So these are good looking notes. They could be a little bit fuller, more full, but I think these are good, right? So everything I think that's on the test is written in these notes. I can actually go through and look, but I think just I went through quickly and saw a lot of the answers in here. So example of good notes, even if you're not an artist, right? Okay. Left off in Luke 2:41. So now we talked about Jesus' birth, we talked about John the Baptist's birth. Now we're moving forward to when Jesus was 12 years old. Fast forward. Now his parents went to Jerusalem every year at the feast of the Passover. When he was 12 years old, they went up according to custom. When the feast was ended, they were returning. The boy Jesus stayed behind in Jerusalem. His parents did not know it, but supposing him to be in the company, they went a day's journey, and they sought him among their kinsfolk and acquaintances. When they did not find him, they returned to Jerusalem seeking him. All right, so they went to Jerusalem, the three of them, and they're on their way home, and Mary and Joseph assumed Jesus was part of the caravan, and they camp for the night. They're looking for Jesus, and he's nowhere to be found. Yikes, right? Pretty much every parent's worst nightmare. Where's my child? On top of that, think of Mary and Joseph thinking, we just lost God. Right? Like he's supposed to be this incredibly important person, and we lost him. He's gone.
Wait, so Jesus, didn't sin, right?
Correct.
Okay, so then, why would they be, worried about him being gone? Because he wouldn't be doing anything bad. And,
No, but what if something bad happened to him?
Oh.
What if somebody did something bad to him?
Oh.
Right?
But
Wouldn't necessarily be a sin, but
wouldn't he, know? Because he's I don't know.
a little bit.
Wait, but isn't,
But we're looking at this from Mary and Joseph's perspective right now. They don't know actually Jesus. They don't know where he is. Every parent at that point is going to start going through every possible scenario of what's going on with their son.
But, how did they lose him? Just, walk away?
No. So this is a good question, right? How do you lose him? How do you go a day's journey and not know he's not there, right? So oftentimes, in caravans at this time, you'd have a section of all the men, you'd have a section of all the women. So it's very likely that Mary thought he was with Joseph, and Joseph thought he was with Mary, and they meet together at the end of the day and they realize, I thought you had him. No, I thought you had him. Uh-oh. Or we thought, he was with your brother. I thought he was with your brother. Oh. So probably some miscommunication, thinking he was going to be with somebody else, and all of a sudden, nobody has him. He's gone. He's gone. So, does that make sense? Yeah. So they start to freak out, as every parent would. His parents did not know it, but supposing him to be in the company, they went a day's journey and sought him among their kinsfolk and acquaintances. When they did not find him, they returned to Jerusalem seeking him. After 3 days, they searched for him for 3 more days. Oh my goodness. Did he run away? Okay. He's not sinning. He doesn't run away. We'll see what happens to him. Can you imagine? 3 days they're looking for him, thinking the worst. After 3 days, they found him in the temple, sitting among the teachers, listening to them and asking them questions. And all who heard him were amazed at his understanding and his answers. They found him in the temple, basically doing what you guys are doing right now, right? Sitting, asking questions. He went to school for 3 days. Is that what you do?
No, we go to school for like 5.
5 days, 6 days?
We're better than Jesus.
Would you be here of your own volition?
Oh, yeah, probably not.
Right?
If I would,
Good.
not here.
Oh,
Okay, so he's sitting among the teachers in the temple, listening and asking them questions, and all who heard him were amazed at his understanding and his answers. And when they saw him, they were astonished, and his mother said to him, "Son, why have you treated us so? Behold, your father and I have been looking for you anxiously." He said to them, "How is it that you sought me? Did you not know that I must be in my father's house?" Is he in Joseph's house?
No,
Whose house is he in?
God's,
God the Father's house.
God's.
God the Father's house, right? He's in his Father's house. And they did not understand the saying which he spoke to them. He went down with them and came to Nazareth and was obedient to them. And his mother kept all these things in her heart. And Jesus increased in wisdom and in stature and in favor with God and man. So, it's pretty clear at this point, Mary doesn't really understand that he is God. She still doesn't at this point. Jesus really hasn't revealed that to her. Because she didn't understand the saying, "I must be in my Father's house." They didn't really understand, but she pondered all these things in her heart. Question: how is it possible that Jesus can grow in wisdom?
because he's human and he is not born with wisdom.
Good. So, does he increase in wisdom and his divinity?
No.
No. Very good. But in his humanity, he does, right? Does anybody know what Joseph did as a trade? He was a carpenter. Joseph was a carpenter. Did Jesus start working with Joseph and know everything about carpentry? No, right? When he first started, he didn't, right? Joseph had to teach him carpentry. In his humanity, Jesus needed to learn just like all of us need to learn. Which is why he wasn't just answering questions in the temple, but he was asking questions in the temple. I don't think it was purely Socratic method, trying to get them to understand deeper things, which might be a little bit of it. He's also asking questions as well. But he increases in wisdom just like we have to. Increases in stature, in favor with God and man. Very good. All right. We're going to skip ahead to, what part of that one? Luke chapter 3, verse 23. So you know, you should have Luke 3, 23 written somewhere, right? And maybe in your notes for that last section, you have Jesus is 12 years old, lost in the temple, or lost from his parents, found in the temple. His response indicates Mary doesn't quite know he's God. Something like that, right? So notes along those lines, all those things should kind of be written in your notes. So that when you go back and you see, okay, what did Father Tony talk about in this section? Those are the main concepts we talked about. Chapter 3, verse 23, we see the ancestry of Jesus. So there's a whole bunch of names. I'm going to list you my favorite of the names. Melchi, Jodah, another good one. Again, this is a great baby naming book, right? I think my favorite of all of them, though, is Peleg, P-E-L-E-G, Peleg. So isn't that a great name?
I don't know, I feel like that would be the kind of name that like a celebrant would have.
Aaron.
Yeah.
Aaron.
Ava.
Let's see, our Paxad, Lamech, another great name, right? Zerubbabel, another great name. Enos. Actually, there was an old, I think he was a quarterback from Michigan State, Dan Enos. Why?
Do these names have like meanings behind them? Like, do they mean like?
Ooh, good. What do you guys think? Does an ancestor of Jesus, is there any wasted words in scripture?
Then probably not.
No, right? It's just, so what is the reason putting Jesus' ancestry here?
To show he's from David.
To show he's from David. Is David in this list anywhere? There he is, verse 31. Son of Nathan, son of David. The son of Jesse, the son of Obed, the son of Boaz. Boaz was the husband of. This is like a 5 participation. Dang! Max gets like 5 participation points. He said Ruth. Boaz is the husband of Ruth.
I don't know how I got that.
You
nailed it.
Very good. There is. Notice how this genealogy actually goes in the opposite direction. It starts with Jesus and then just goes all the way back in time. Where does it end?
God.
No.
White literally says,
The
son of Adam, the son of God.
right. So it's not God. It's the Son of God. Who's the last name?
Oh, Adam.
And who's his wife?
Eve.
There we go. Right. So this ancestry goes all the way back to Adam and Eve from the very beginning. This already in your mind should trigger a red flag. Is that one of the questions on your study guide? Any gospel that has a genealogy in it?
I don't know.
I remember seeing it like, what was the feast?
That last section, one of those contains a genealogy. This would be a genealogy, would it not? So hopefully in your notes you have somewhere a genealogy of Jesus.
Wait, so it says, like, there's from Abraham back, isn't that like historical, or that's like myths and legends?
Yep.
Why is that still in there?
Yep. So is this ancestry fully meant to be like completely 100% accurate?
Probably not.
Probably not, right? Because if we look at these names, we go all the way, so it does have a spot for, right, the son of Isaac, the son of Abraham. And we go back even further from Abraham, we've got a bunch of generations to Adam and Eve. What this would be indicating, if this is literal truth, this is only on the literal side, no deeper spiritual meaning. It's just on the literal sense of Scripture. That's when humanity started. Is the science borne that out?
Yes. Yes.
How long have humans been on this planet?
Like,
Long, thousands of years.
but it's not like there's like human, that's hard, because there's no like,
Right, but we have evidence of humans probably 12,000 years ago. There's evidence of humanity 12,000 years ago. That's not enough generations.
12,000 years.
Right.
Even 2,000.
Right? That's not enough generations. So Luke here is not, he's operating here on the spiritual level of Scripture. Okay? At least from Abraham and back. That's all on the spiritual level. Now, Abraham to Jesus, yeah, that certainly could be historical truth. But from Abraham further down, we're dealing more on the spiritual level here.
This prayer, how does we set up in the text? So it'll be like multiple choice.
Nope, it's gonna have that phrase and then a blank.
We have to write the whole
You
thing
have to, well, no, you have to write Matthew, Mark, Luke.
Oh.
Which gospels are these found in?
Oh, I thought we had to write something.
Nope, it'll be blank, it'll say Matthew, Mark, Luke. Actually, you know what? I may change that. I remember that was a little difficult for me to agree last year. I'm probably gonna change it to this. I think I haven't printed them yet. So I'll have like one. I'll put the, contains genealogy, that won't be underlined. Contains genealogy, and then I'll go Matthew, square, Mark, square, and Luke. and you check all that apply. That would be a ton easier than the other eight. Yeah, that would be a ton easier for you to read. So you just gotta check the ones that this applies to. I think I'm weird about this. That was weird. I feel weird. It's not okay. I don't know what that was. I'm not shooting a free throw. I'm not shooting a free throw. Whatever that was. That's a TikTok. I'm not on TikTok, so.
You should be.
No, absolutely not. 100% not. Yeah, 100% no.
She got it.
100% no. All right, temptation of Jesus. Chapter 4 is the temptation of Jesus. We talked about this, right? So we're gonna skip over the temptation of Jesus. Oh boy. All right, when we come back on Tuesday, you will see me virtually right here on the screen. We will start with Luke chapter 6, verse 20. It'll probably just be the video. Maybe take it on the video. Any questions before we move on? Yes.
Do you ever feel like a plastic bag?
Do I ever feel like a plastic bag? No, I
Wanting to start to
often feel more like a sad than a glass.
Wow.
You have a question over here?
Are we your favorite class?
Of course you are.
I don't know.